Hi, folks out in Facebook land. It is Dr. Holly Lucille here with Natural Partners Full Script Television and Healthy Happenings. And guess what's still happening to this day? Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer still of both men and women in North America. And today, I've got an esteemed guest with me, Dr. Virender Sodhi of Ayush Herbs, and we're going to be talking about Ayurvedic concepts and how to treat cardiovascular disease. Dr. Sodhi, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Holly. It's nice to connect again.
Yeah. So listen, before we dive deeper into the cardiovascular aspects of things, I would love for you to share with the viewers just the general concepts of Ayurvedic medicine. You know, I've always said, I think there's value in all systems of medicine. I, as a naturopathic practitioner, I'm bound to a set of philosophical tenets that guide my thinking. Conventional medicine certainly has their reductionistic, very purposeful way of thinking. There's traditional Chinese medicine, there's chiropractic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. Let us have it.
So one thing is the Ayurvedic medicine is the oldest system of healing in the world. And almost all systems of medicine has percolated from it. The Chinese, Argalian system, the Hippocratic system, they all learned. If you go for the back in the history, India was what is America today. In the early centuries. So one of the very basic tenet of Ayurvedic medicine is there's a one Sanskrit phrase which narrates it all. So yatha pinde tatha brahmande. This is Sanskrit word. What that means is what is true in the universe is true in our body. Now, what we are finding out, the genomes, and we are finding about the biomes, and we're talking about, but they have said that this in single word phrase, that what is true in the mother nature is true in our body. So what you want to do, you want to create a balance. And balance is not a fixed thing. It's changing every day, every second, with the weather, with the time, with the emotions. Like you're angry, what do you need to do? Cool down. We all do that. Says somebody's saying some angry word, you bring cold water because you have a fire going up. You say, okay, drink cold water. We all say, okay, take a deep breath, cool down. We say that, isn't it? This is Ayurvedic medicine. Simple, very simple, nothing very difficult. And like what I tell my patient is, hey guys, look at the animals. They don't have doctors. They don't have a pelvic exam. They don't have prostate exams. And they still live healthy. They don't have heart disease. They don't get cancer. They don't get osteoporosis. They don't get diabetes. Nothing. They die. We all die. Okay? Not because of the disease. So living in harmony with the mother nature, creating a balance for our bodies through the mother nature, and that reality be different than in Australia, than in America, because we have different time zones, different hemispheres. So following the simple laws of mother nature is Ayurvedic medicine.
It's beautiful. And you're right. As you were saying those words, I could see threads of chiropractic medicine and
Chiro is also Sanskrit word, kar mean hand.
Sure.
Okay, kar is a Sanskrit word, kar mean hand, practic. So this is actually again goes to from the hand. If we go, what his name is, he's the osteopath from England. I forgot his name. Very, very famous. He has written in his book that how the word was derived.
Yeah, so I do. And from your words, I was seeing themes and threads through all these other systems of medicine. So the oldest system of medicine. So let's dive in. How then can these Ayurvedic concepts inform how we treat cardiovascular health here in North America? Because once again, and I can't highlight it enough, it always surprises me, to tell you the truth. It's still the #1 killer of both men and women in our country.
Yes, very sadly, is still the #1 killer, and it has not to be. And if you look at the way we have been treating, the statin drugs were introduced in the world in 1978 or 76, something like that. First, the Japanese made it, and then was made worldwide, $300 billion sales, and with just a 0% benefit. There are studies where if you take statin drugs, it increases more atheroma, which is supposed to decrease it. So the benefits are not there. I'm going to just put some historical perspective here.
Sure.
We all know our good friend, Dr. Dean Ornish.
Sure.
And he was the first to take the Ayurvedic principles of yoga, meditation, diet change, vegetarian diet, and converting the atherosclerotic plaques through angiograms, showing through the angiograms. And so that is simple. Again, vegetarian diet, stress reduction, weight reduction. You do yoga, you do meditation, you do walking. Like people who run, it's bad news for them too, because you're not going to actually, in Dean Ornish study, there was one guy who was a runner. He actually died with a heart attack. So it's really interesting. People don't, I tell my patient, you're not designed to run. We are running only in two situations. Somebody was running after me. I was running somebody after. So that was the only two situations I ran. But we are designed to walk. So when we follow the simple laws of Mother Nature, I said, eat what is available in season according to that season. Like right now, pomegranates are in season as a fruit. Eat them more rather than bananas, which is coming from exotic, some tropical country. May not be your food. And the only fruit which does not have potassium is not banana only. There are so many other fruit which have a lot more potassium in it. So like we do marketing, we do amazing marketing. We just, put people's head. If you drink milk, you're going to get more strong bones. We know that's a bullshit concept. It's not
yes, sir.
But we still do the same thing. And we tell people, you take statin drugs, your heart disease is going to go away. It does lower your cholesterol, does not. So again, the simple thing, like our president, Bill Clinton, he had a couple of bypass surgeries, stenting done, and after that said, we can't do anything for you. And he took the help of Bill Clinton, Dr. Esselstyn, and now he is a vegetarian. And you look at him. I just saw him this morning on the funeral for George Bush there, senior, and he was looking astonishingly better. I was looking at the eyes as compared to his wife. His eyes used to be bulged out, more. Now his eyes are much better, which is another simple method how your body is doing. So very, very simple, just like eating lots of vegetables, whole grains, cut down all the crap, sugar, fried food, this and that. Do simple yogic practices, do breathing exercises, cut down, spend quality time with your families and friends. And, you need some herbs. Yes, there are lots of herbs which can help you too.
Yeah, so we're looking at botanical medicine, but also probably the number one utilized medicine in the entire world, according to the World Health Organization.
That's true. I'm sorry.
So as far as cardiovascular health and how we deal with it here in North America, you mentioned beta blockers, or you mentioned statins, beta blockers, not necessarily perhaps a need for if somebody could live more in harmony with the universe, more in harmony with the seasons and where their location is. So eating locally, eating seasonally, and then also, you mentioned yogic practices. So how does that whole mind-body connection apply to Ayurvedic principles and cardiovascular health?
The disease does not have only one front. The mental and emotional is huge in any disease.
Yeah.
And most of us, if we're not able to fight our stress levels on our daily basis, we are going to have bigger issue of health. And so the mind is such a powerful, because your body follows your mind.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Whatever you're creating in your mindset is body is going to follow that. And the problem is we have too much clutter in our brains. And we get frustrated, we get angry, we get anxious, we get fearful, we get attached. This is mine. But nothing belongs to us. If you look in the overall picture, we all going to leave everything here. So we have all those false kind of hopes that this is the way it should be. So when you are meditating, your mind calms down. There is tons of interesting research available. I just wrote a chapter on yoga for the integrative clinical nutrition book published by CRC by Dr. Aruna Bakre. And nice. She asked, Dr. Sodhi, can you write an article and give me 10 pages? So when I wrote, it was around 50 pages. So I said, okay, God, sorry, it is 50 pages. Take the out if you want to. She kept every word of it because it was so powerful. And I tried to find all the research published on yoga and how it relates to different diseases and how it can balance. So simple, very simple. It doesn't make money. It does not make you $300 billion, but it is effective. It can be very, very helpful. So meditation, when we do meditation, even your gene, what do you call the SNPs changes. This been actually, now you can see who is meditating and who's not meditating by looking at the SNPs of it.
So you're talking about the single nucleotide polymorphisms.
Exactly.
Right. And honestly, we can't change our DNA, but we can change the phenotypic expression of our DNA through genomics and things like you're talking about, like using our mind.
Exactly. So the interesting thing is, like, yeah, we've been told, okay, we have genes. My mom was a type 2 diabetic, but that doesn't mean that I have to be type 2 diabetic, because I choose not to be type 2 diabetic. So what that you need to do, follow the directions of Mother Nature, do exercise, eat what is grown in that area, and eat healthy. Don't overfeed yourself, have a good sleep, and that's it. Almost prevent every disease.
I love your enthusiasm about this, and I completely 100% agree with you. I think one of the challenges us as practitioners has in our modern day is the here, take this approach to cardiovascular disease, like here, take this statin, here, take this beta blocker. It's pretty easy medicine. You basically get that prescription, you go to your pharmacist, pay your copay, open up that pill bottle, take it, and that's, you check that box as far as your illness is concerned. And for consumers and patients, it's very easy. When they come to people like us and like you who are looking at more curative medicine, more comprehensive medicine, I think there is that disconnect even with our patients. We know the research is there. We've seen it. But as well, asking somebody to meditate. It's in my practice, it's like they look at me like I have 7 heads. They're like, do you understand how much I have going on? I can't settle down enough to meditate. Right. Asking somebody to do yoga. Yeah. And they're like, no, I'm going to go throw around some weights and, back a hand and then go to work. And so I think there's that disconnect too, that we just need to keep plugging along with our patients as far as disengaging and disconnecting from everything we're engaged and connected to really have them do this more humble, holistic, universal, as you say, living in harmony medicine.
That's right. One thing is, thank God we have now statistics available since 1980.
Yes.
Okay. Look at the long-term goal. Don't look at, okay, you can lower your cholesterol. Does it translate into saving your life? Do you cut down the stroke? Do you cut down the heart attack? You don't. Look at the diabetes medicine. Yes, you cut down the diabetes. People die more prematurely. This has all been published data available on the meta-analysis. Look at the beta blockers, ACE inhibitor, calcium channel blocker. People die prematurely. So the choice is very simple. Yes, you lower your blood pressure, die prematurely, or you lower your cholesterol, die prematurely, or you don't take any crap, live in harmony, live longer, and very much the quality of life until the end.
Yeah, and I think that's the messaging that we need to continue to work on, because if you look at the statistics then moving forward, it always is amazing to me that we have so much advancement in one of the most wealthy countries in the world, and that our chronic health issues, including diabetes and cardiovascular disease, will be on the rise continually to 2020 and beyond. And so it does make you scratch your head and wonder, hey, what are we doing wrong from the top down, and how can we continue to encourage this living in harmony message? So on that note, why don't we talk about some Ayurvedic herbs that are really commonly used for cardiovascular diseases?
Yeah, so one of a very common product which we have is a Revolfia-based Carditone product, and it works wonderful on the hypertension patient. The one interesting thing about hypertensive treatment is when people they get diagnosed with hypertension, the first line of treatment is diuretic. They will give them some kind of diuretic. If that doesn't work, they add a beta blocker. If it doesn't work, they add an ACE inhibitor, calcium channel blocker. So, you go on adding bundle of those drugs, and if you look at 10, 20, 15, 20 years of research, they are not going anywhere. They actually all end up having heart failure, congestion, because all these drugs do the pooling of the heart, because they lower the blood pressure. So you end up having more complications, and beta blockers increases your diabetes. So you're not going anywhere. Whereas you take Revolfia, what it does, it remodels your blood vessels.
Revolfia remodels your blood vessels.
Blood vessels. Terminalia Arjuna, remodel your blood vessels. So the blood vessel is shrinking and relaxing, shrinking and relaxing. And why you have a blood pressure? Because it's not shrinking properly, not relaxing properly. That's what we're measuring. Okay. But you can take this medicine now, it pools. Your blood pressure lowers down because this is now your pool, but it's not solving the problem. Over time, it's getting more stiffer. But the medicine like Carditone, when you take it, what it does, like a lot of people who take for 1 to 2 years, and then after that, they don't need it because it does it more.
Amazing.
Remodeling
Yes.
the blood vessel. So the Revolvia is amazing. Terminalia arjuna is a very wonderful herb. There's a studies published on class 4 heart failure. It reverses it to class 1, which is like unheard kind of stuff, increase the ejection fraction of the heart. The angina patient, who are given like nitroglycerin, the results are comparable to nitroglycerin when they were put on the treadmill with exercise after giving. We did one study with the high school students here. This is very interesting. So one student came to me, and she was my patient. I said, Dr. Sodhi, every kid wants to get steroids these days to get muscle mass and stuff growing there. And but I want to teach them there is some herbal stuff available. And I said, okay, fine. Let's give ashwagandha and terminalia arjuna. And we measured their exercise capacity before and exercise capacity after 3 weeks, after 2 weeks. Guess what? There was 76% increase in their weight, increased weight capacity. So they were able to increase up to 76% in just 2 to 3 weeks. And they're not taking any steroids. So, and it's non-toxic. The ashwagandha, take a bucket of it, will still not kill you. Arjuna heart, terminally Arjuna, you take a bucket of it, it will not kill you. So really, the safety margin is huge. And the toxicity is almost nothing. So we should use that kind of stuff, which is more non-toxic. So the other herb which comes to me which is very famous these days, is the curcumin, the turmeric. Amazingly cleans your atheromas, lowers your cholesterol, lowers your LDLs, increase your HDL, and clean your liver, because liver, as you know, is a very, very important organ from all of us. And we all have, living in the society we live in today, with our food, the chemicals, the environment we have, the liver is clogged. All of us are clogged liver.
Yeah.
Sadly, but
the liver takes a beating in our modern day. That's for sure.
Very, very sure. So it helps the liver. Now you have a clean liver, and you take it on regular, and it's been used for centuries. Chinese used it, Indians used it. They didn't die with it. And the most you're going to get is a diarrhea, and which is still manageable. You can say, okay, I'm going to back off. And when you cut it off to a lower dose, you'll all fine. So very simple. The Ayurvedic herbs can have amazing effects.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think the risk-benefit ratio, as you're saying, is right there for us. Obviously, there are pharmaceuticals that are prescribed for these conditions across the board, but when we're looking at getting deeper into the root cause of perhaps cardiovascular disease, you're looking at lifestyle, using your mind, living in harmony. Where can folks go? Where can practitioners go to learn more about Ayurvedic medicine?
We started a program with Bastyr University, Portland University. The NUNM has also started the program, the Ayurvedic medicine. There are also local chapters. Almost every city have now. There is a national organization of Ayurvedic Medical Association called NAMA, the National Ayurvedic Medical Association. So there are practitioners around available, so it's getting popular. Dr. Chopra made a good impact on this. Dr. Basant Lad made a good impact on the whole Ayurvedic industry here. And we are trying to do our part from our end here.
Well, it's great. It's wonderful, Dr. Sodhi, to talk to you. Once again, Dr. Sodhi, CEO of Ayush Herbs, spreading the message of living in harmony when it comes to a #1 killer, cardiovascular disease. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ali.
All right, healthy happening watchers. We'll see you next time.
Okay.